Wow, when Gordon called me up to ask if I'd fill in for him on a Friday night in the middle of June, I thought, no problem, it'll be a small crowd. Well, I learned that I think about 300 people registered for this evening. 300 people interested in learning about how to increase biking and walking on a beautiful sunny Friday afternoon in June. We do have a special crowd here in Vancouver. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tanya Lowe. I'm the co-owner and COO at Momentum Magazine, Smart Living by Bike. We're an independent media company dedicated to being the voice of the bicycle lifestyle. We're tastemakers of cycling for city dwellers and curators of the practical, functional, and stylish gear for everyday riding. You can pick up a copy at the back of the table there. And if you haven't already checked us out, you can follow us on Twitter at Momentum Mag. So I'll be your host for this evening on behalf of SFU Continuing Studies City Program. Normally, Gordon Price is here, and he would be here to host you, but he couldn't make it tonight, so I hope I can be as gracious as he normally is. Too bad you're stuck with me. So here's how the evening's gonna work. In a moment, I'll be inviting our wonderful sponsors to take a moment to introduce themselves and to say a few words. And at 7:15, John Pucher will share with us how to increase biking and walking lessons from cities across the globe. After the talk, I'll open the questions to the floor, and we'll be taking questions from Twitter. This is a live webcast. For everyone following us on Twitter, the hashtag this evening is SFU Cycle. So now that my 3 minutes are up, please let me welcome our first sponsor, Josh Burkman from Urban Systems. Josh is a transportation engineer who commutes by bicycle every day to work in their Yaletown office, which I've seen. It's pretty chic. Just wonder where you park your bike. He has completed active transportation design and planning projects, most recently with Translink, the District of North Vancouver, Vancouver Airport Authority, and the City of Vancouver. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Tanya. I'll keep it quick because I know we're all here to hear from John and learn from his tremendous wisdom. As Tanya mentioned, I'm here representing Urban Systems. We're a Western Canadian-based professional service consulting company. And what we do is we work with local governments, First Nations groups, and nonprofit organizations to help the communities that we live in and that we work in achieve their goals for vibrancy. And what we've found in our work in active transportation, being fortunate enough to work with great clients who are thinking innovatively, like the City of Vancouver and Translink, is that what's worked in the past is no longer working. And speaking especially as an engineer, I find that the assumptions, the analysis process, and the design guidelines that I look to from the past are no longer good enough for the challenges that we are facing as cities in North America, and cities that are rapidly adapting. So it was with great enthusiasm that we partnered with the City of Vancouver and Translink to bring John here so we can all learn from his wisdom, but moreover learn from each other. During my time at Urban Systems, I've learned that interdisciplinary collaboration and working together, no matter what your discipline, no matter what your background, learning from our clients, working together, learning from the nonprofit organizations like Hub that we're so grateful to have in this city is really critical. So thank you, John, for being here. I'm personally really looking forward to learning from what you have to share, and thanks everybody for coming out. Should be pretty awesome.
Thanks, Josh. Next, I'd like to introduce Andrew Curran from Translink. So I met Andrew the first time in 2008 when he helped bring John to Vancouver on his last trip to Vancouver, when Translink was developing its regional transportation strategy. Since then, he's been a hot model on the pages of Momentum. And he's also been become the manager of the strategy group at Translink, where he and the strategic planning and policy team are working on an update to the regional transportation strategy.
Thanks, Tanya. I've brought a few props here, said documents that Tanya referenced, and I will also be brief, but I just wanted to say that I'm honored to introduce John Pucher, who I did first meet in 2008 when he came to address the Regional Cycling Strategy Stakeholder Forum. Many of you in the audience were likely there at the time. He encouraged us there to build a region where cycling was accessible to all people of all ages and all cycling abilities, not just a select few of fearless road warriors, the sort of the lycra-clad set, but that people could bike to work, to school, to play in their street clothes, in feelings of safety and comfort. You highlighted for us, John, that really fear and stress of cycling and motor vehicle traffic was one of the main barriers to increased cycling. And that became a focus for the regional cycling strategy. We observed that 1/3 of people in the region say they're not that interested in cycling, but that 2/3 are. A lot of them are already cycling, but they would all cycle more if they had more bikeways that were more separated from motor vehicle traffic. I think one of your titles, John, was of one of your articles was Cycling for Everyone. We're proud to report that was the title of the regional cycling strategy, Cycling for Everyone. So we borrowed it directly from you. It was plagiarism, but it really works. And we're excited to report as well that 5 years later, there's progress being made in the region. And I think the City of Vancouver, who's another sponsor of tonight's talk, is really leading the way, showing amazing political courage. And round of applause. Absolutely. Facilities like Dunsmuir, Hornby, the Burrard Bridge, and more on the way are amazing. They're exactly what this region needs to really leverage the full potential of cycling, to try to realize the target in Transport 2040, the current regional transportation strategy, to see more than or half of trips by walking, cycling, and transit by 2040. That's an ambitious target, and we know that cycling needs to play a big part to help achieve that target. There's a growing consensus in this region that's the kind of stuff that John is talking about tonight is the kind of thing that we need to be doing here. As Tanya mentioned, we're in the process of updating the regional transportation strategy, and starting next week on our website, translink.ca/RTS, there's going to be the beginning of a public conversation around what our priorities need to be over the next 30 years, what we need to build, what we need to invest in, how we're going to pay, how much it's going to cost, and what role will cycling play in that. There's growing consensus that we need significantly more investment in cycling. We need to hear what you think. Please come participate in that dialogue. We look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to applying the lessons that John is sharing tonight. Thanks.
Thanks, Andrew.